Today we are going to talk about 3 decks that are a must-have in your collection. Hello my love, welcome back to my channel. And well, I was going through my decks and I thought that it would be fun to share with you 3 categories of decks that I think that are a must-have in your collection. Now, I'm by no means saying that you have to have more than one deck, right? So first of all, we don't need a deck. Nobody needs a deck. That's the truth. So we choose to use this beautiful tool because we love our decks, right? We love tarot and oracle decks. So that's a choice that we make. And let's say you decide to have just one deck, it's more than enough. You really don't need more than one deck to read for us personally and even professionally. You don't need more than one deck, okay? So this video is for those of you who, just like me, you love your decks and you have several decks, have more than one deck, or maybe you have one deck and then you're thinking about adding a new deck to your collection. I think you could think about having this kind of deck. So I would say I'm starting my collection, I'll have one deck in the first category. Then if you decide to expand your collection, the second category, and then expand again the third category. And if you already have tons of decks, you can go to your collection and find out which decks would fit in each one of these categories as well. So let's start. The first kind of deck that is a must-have, in my humble opinion, is what I called a foundational deck. So a foundational deck is going to be like an OG, we can call, right? A deck connected to the original of that lineage. Because tarot, we are going to say that tarot is one system, right? And inside tarot, we have different lineages. And then these 3 lineages here, they are the ones that are people talk more about, we study more about, and they are the Tarot de Marseille, the Thoth Tarot, and the Rider-Waite-Smith. So I have all these OGs, are these foundational decks, because I studied all of these lineages. And after studying them, because I am the kind of person, I study a lot, I love studying, I love going to the root of things. And after studying them, my soul connected to the Rider-Waite-Smith. And so I would say the first deck, or one deck that you need, is a foundational deck, because you're going to find other decks that are going to fit that same lineage, and you'll be able to read them, and you are going to the root of that lineage as well. So I usually recommend the Rider-Waite-Smith as a first tarot deck, because, well, it's fully illustrated, it's easy to work with, but because, another reason is because if you know how to read the Rider-Waite-Smith, you're going to have tons of decks out there, right, to choose from, because they follow the same lineage, they speak the same language. And if you're going to take a course, or if you're going to buy a book, you have several resources out there. And of course, free resources as well on Google. You're going to find them for free. So the first category is the foundational deck. So it would be or the Tarot de Marseille, or the Thoth, or the Rider-Waite-Smith, just because these 3 lineages are the ones that we talk more about, right? Now, the second category I called the companion. It would be a deck that is our comfort zone. A deck that you feel like, oh boy, I can talk to this deck about any subject. This deck ignites my intuition. This deck makes me feel, well, it feels like home. This deck for me is the tarot of mystical moments. So it is a deck that is always easy for me to read with. I can do all kinds of readings with this deck. So let's say about career, about relationship, romantic relationship, or all kinds of relationships. I can, it's beautiful for shadow work, it's beautiful for dream work, And I don't know, I look at this deck and it feels like home because I know her very, very well. And even though, of course, even though I know her very well, every time I work with her, I find something new in these cards. And I love her. And I think she's beautiful. And she's always so clear without kicking my ass, anything like that. So it is a comfort zone deck. A deck that you know that if you decide to work with her, you're going to access that place inside of you. It's going to ignite your intuition. It's going to be loving and kind. It is going to tell you the truth, but in a way that is okay for you. It's comfortable. It's not a deck that you say, oh, I'm not going to read with this deck before bed because it's going to kick my ass and I'm not going to sleep well, right? So this is the companion deck, the one that is going to keep you. It is a little bit comfort zone because it's easy for you. Now, a third kind of deck that I think that is really great, and if you have a collection, more than one or two decks, it's interesting for you to go and check what deck in my collection would fit that category. Or if you don't have any, but you have several decks, consider please adding this kind of deck to your collection. So it's going to be a category that I called the Challenger. It's going to be a deck that is out of your comfort zone, and for me is the Mary L. Tarot. It is a deck that for me back then, years ago, I have to take care because there's nudity in this deck, I would never want this deck. First of all, it was huge with black borders. I was like, what? And for me, it was a little aggressive, almost offensive. The deck's not I mean, it is fierce, but it's not aggressive or offensive. That was the place I was in. So I would feel that this deck was offensive or even aggressive. And after, well, several years, I thought maybe I should give it a try. Maybe I should see what happens. And then I saw that the deck was smaller than usual, this size. I love this size. And let's see. Slightly smaller than a Rider-Waite-Smith. Perfect to shuffle. And it was borderless. So I thought, you want to know what? I'll give it a try. And this deck's fantastic. When I say outside of my comfort zone, it's not rude. It doesn't kick my ass, nothing like that. But this deck is so deep. It's so like, it comes from something. It awakens something that is inside of us. And I don't even use this deck for shadow works, nothing like that. I don't need to. Every time I draw from this deck, it's extremely, extremely powerful. It is a deck that I don't use in professional readings with clients because I always reference the guidebook, and I don't work with, I don't read professionally with decks that I use the guidebook. Not that I couldn't do that one day with this one, but for now it's just for my eyes only. It is the Mary L. Tarot. So these are the three categories, the three kinds of decks that I think that is a must-have in your collection. If you already have these decks, please share with me in the comments down below which one is your comfort, or how did I call it him? Your companion deck, and which one is your challenger. I would like to know that because maybe I'm going to add another companion and another challenger in my collection as well. Thank you so much for being here. I really value your presence and your time. Thank you so much for being with me, beautiful soul. See you in the next video. Lots of love. Bye.